Alright, so with quite a lot of hype surrounding the 2.5 character of Feixiao, I honestly just wanted to have a video talking about why I myself am super excited for her. Obviously, starting off, we don't know the full proper kit, subject to change, all this stuff, all details can be changed. But overall, you can get a general playstyle on how they're going to work, and that's most likely not going to change at least. So, I did kind of want to talk about why I'm super excited. So like I said, before I get to the video, drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for more videos like this, and let's get straight into it. So talking about Feixiao first, obviously we did kind of know that we're going to get a character named Feixiao eventually, and eventually she did get drip marketed, and I personally was not super excited because honestly, not the biggest fan of her art in the splash art, and obviously the first opinion I can get is off the character's design on the drip market, because there really isn't much else you can work with. So originally I wasn't too excited, then 2.4 dropped and we got some info, saw some different art, and then I saw her model in the game and I'm like, damn, this looks way better than I thought, and so now I was a fan of her design, I should say. So what we kind of knew leading up before all this stuff was that she was potentially going to be this hunt character that does it all. Dot, crit, break, all that into one kit, which I thought is kind of insane. We have characters that power kick the game for DPS wise. We have Firefly and we have Acheron, and I was thinking it's kind of insane to make a character that does all three, which is going to be debuff based with the dot, crit based, which is just a regular crit, and then break, which would be on the break side. I thought that was a bit insane, and I honestly was not for it because honestly it's a gacha game, power creep's gonna happen, is what it is. But I was thinking making a character already that does all three of these meta ways to play. I was thinking that's like where you kind of draw the line, because obviously when there's a really good character, eventually the content is going to tailor around that character so you don't have them be that good, and as a result of that, older DPSs that might have had their self replaced will be performing worse in that mode as well, or whatever is being fought. So I thought that was mainly gonna make a lot of other characters' jobs harder, so I wasn't a big fan of it. But eventually, from what we saw, she does not seem to have a dot, but mainly is a crit DPS at the core with some break on top of it, which with that I was fine with. Seeing the kit, I thought this was going to be really good, and then seeing some other stuff, just some stuff that might be out there, seeing the follow-up attack and all that kind of stuff, honestly all playing together, I saw that she was going to be another character similar to Boothill. As we do know, Boothill is obviously on the break side of playstyle, similar to Firefly, but Firefly is overall better to mobs and more enemies, while Boothill is the single target nuker. And if you guys don't know me and you guys don't know me with Boothill and all that kind of stuff, I love single target characters. I love having to plan out what to do, and I love that playstyle in general. And if you guys don't remember, when most people were pretty bummed out that Boothill was released instead of Firefly on that drip market in 2.2, that whole thing, if you guys do remember that video, I was really hyped. I was super excited to see this because I saw him and I saw that he was hunt, and I was like, yes, finally another hunt character, which is probably going to be a single target. Lo and behold, he's a single target, he's break, which I originally didn't think I would like a break playstyle, but because of how much you have to think with him and using him, it ended up making him one of my favorite characters. So this new boss killer NUKER character is one of my favorite characters to use in the game. And from what we know now, Feixiao is this character where the damage outside of ultimate is not super crazy. Like, she isn't dishing out a bunch of damage. The follow-up that she potentially has doesn't do that much. Skill, all that kind of stuff. The damage isn't all there, but it still does enough to the point where it can sort of wiggle down characters and mobs. And then you move on to the ultimate, which is just obliteration beyond belief. Think of it as a character where outside of the ultimate might not be doing too much. You once use the ultimate, and instead of doing something like 50k, you now do 600k. So it requires you to sort of think on this playstyle, alright, efficiently use this. You're going to build up stacks and you're going to use a kit to build it. You're going to use her stuff to wiggle down enemies to the mobs to where you now have max points on the ultimate, and then you strategically, once again, deal with the mobs, and now you have this setup to absolutely nuke the boss faster than anyone else can. And overall, that just seems like a really fun team because it actually requires some thinking and is also very satisfying. So overall, I was thinking this is going to be really good because once again, you use the follow-up, you use the attacks, not doing too much damage, mainly to wiggle down the other enemies on the side. And then once you do build up enough stacks and you hopefully plan out your turn so you can get the optimal rotation, once you do have the actual ult build up, use the ultimate, attack the elite and boss enemy, and you just absolutely nuke them off the field, gone, obliterated. So doing that rather than just sparkle support on a character, AoE all haha alt kill everything, there's actually some thinking involved in this one, which I'm all for, because once again, you guys know I love single target characters. Using Boothill planning who to kill to build a pocket trick shot as optimally as possible, and then get straight to nuking as fast as possible. All the thinking that can be involved in a single target team is just super fun, and it makes the game so much more enjoyable for me. I'm not saying AoE characters are super boring to me. There are some that I really like using, like the new character Yunli, for example. She's really fun to me, one of my favorite characters to use as well. But there's also some other characters, like I will say it, Acheron, obviously kind of use her just to do whatever if I'm wanting to just get stuff done efficiently. But overall, there really isn't much thinking because you just AoE alt, go next, go about your day. So the difference between fun from single targets and AoE characters is very apparent for me. So that's why I was very hyped for Feixiao for a kit. On top of that, from looking at it, she does seem to be a follow-up character, which means she's going to function very well on the follow-up team. Not only that, the way to build her up for her ultimate seems to be getting most amount of attacks as possible from anyone on your team. And what is the team that has the most output for attacks? You guessed it, follow-up team. What is one of my favorite teams, or my favorite team to use in the game? You guessed it, follow-up team. If you've watched practically any other video, you know I'm a big fan of the follow-up team. Love the IPC characters, and they're all follow-up characters. Aventurine is my favorite character in the game by far, and he is a follow-up character, gameplay-wise, and just everything about him. Love using Dr. Feixiao. Yunli is also a follow-up character, one of my favorite characters to use. Had a lot of fun using Clara as well. Practically just anything follow-up related is just super fun to me. And now, with Feixiao, having her be used optimally will be on a follow-up team, and that's what's a big plus for me. On top of that, potentially having a follow-up herself, from what it seems, that is going to be another plus to have some synergy there. So having someone like Topaz buff follow-up damage taken, that's going to be extremely good, and so I'm really excited for that. Especially for my account specifically, as you guys do know, I do have everything for an optimal follow-up team. I have Topaz at E1 with her light cone, I have Robin and her light cone, and I have Aventurine. These are the three sort of core characters, and then you just slot in the last character as a unit. So Dr. Feixiao, in this case Feixiao. You have, especially with this Feixiao team, again, building her ultimates by attacks. You have Topaz debuffing the people to take more follow-up damage and crit damage from follow-up because of the E1. So Topaz is a big staple there. Robin, which is the follow-up support, making follow-up crit damage do more, giving crit damage in general. A bunch of attack percent and the team-wide action forward, which can build more stacks. And then Aventurine, which is not only the follow-up sustain, but just the sustain of the game. But in Feixiao's case, being able to attack a good amount with the proper build, doing a lot of damage himself, obviously because mine's E6, that's going to be a big plus as well. And having a follow-up for getting attacked by the shield, and also using his ultimate, and the ultimate also inflicting unnerved, so the enemy you hit will take more crit damage. That also meaning, because it's a single target thing, Feixiao, when she does attack that enemy, is going to be taking increased crit damage, so another big plus right there. And then the final unit being Feixiao is benefiting so much from these units. Topaz attacking a lot thanks to Numbi, Aventurine being able to do a follow-up on the enemy's turn just attacking, and then Robin giving everyone a team-wide action forward, crit damage, damage dealt, attack percent. It's just an insane team, and I have everything ready for it, and I'm super excited to use that team. The first team, no doubt about it, first team right away of using is Topaz, Robin, Feixiao, and Aventurine, because that is most likely probably going to be her best team to use for her own output and results. So all that's ready, super excited, and yeah, pretty much just being the single target nuker that you actually have to think, has a follow-up, is able to do all these things, functions really well with my favorite units, and goes really well on my favorite team, has this pretty good use. Obviously not going to be used in pure fiction because single target, but in Memory of Chaos, just absolutely being able to nuke the main elite or boss enemy. And then Apocalyptic Shadow, especially from having a bunch of attacks from the ultimate and having some weakness break efficiency related things, being able to quickly delete the weakness bar while also doing a bunch of damage is going to be extremely good in that mode. And Apocalyptic Shadow is my favorite mode right now, so that's gonna be another very fun character to use in a very fun mode. Anyway, that is the reasons I'm mainly hyped for this character. I'm super hyped for Feixiao. Honestly, I wish 2.4 can end just now, and I wish I could just get her now. I haven't been this hyped for a character gameplay wise in a while, because I've also been waiting on a Wind DPS, because Wind is yikes. We have Black Swan, which is mainly a debuffer and dot. Blade, while he can be used, has fallen off pretty hard because there's not really much you can do with him. His damage output isn't that great anymore. So I've been wanting a pure Wind DPS for a while, and with Feixiao finally happening, all this stuff super fun. Let me know if you guys are also hyped for her, and that's like I say, peace out.